Hi, guys. Good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I'll be discussing another shocking and revealing episode, the second to last episode of this season of AMC's The Terror Infamy. This is the second to last episode of the season. The season finale is next week, but this one was once again another doozy. Now, before I go on, of course, and I keep talking for too long, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled episode review. If you're not caught up on the terror by this episode or the past couple episodes, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be going into spoilers. That being said, let's jump right into it. Wow. So talk about some shocking revelations. It turns out this entire situation or mess, not necessarily the internment camp part of it, that was going to happen either way, but this whole situation with Yurei and Chester and his family all could have been avoided if his aunt hadn't been so selfish. Well, I mean, she had her reasons, but like she said, she had no idea her sister was pregnant, and she was actually meant to marry that jerk who threw Yuko out on her ass on the street, you know, because he didn't want to raise a kid with her. Or that kid, at least. But yeah, this whole thing could have been avoided if the sister had not basically screwed, Yuko over, which was too bad. It just shows you just how, how self-centered people can be for whether or not it's the right reason. But yeah, that was pretty shocking. And also, it made so much sense too. I mean, they already established the familial connection between Chester and Yurei. It only made sense to elaborate further on the relationship between the two sisters, between Chester's mother and Chester's real mother, Yuko. So that was I thought that was pretty cool, and it was just a great bombshell to drop on us as well. It was a pretty intense episode. Fortunately, this birth was much happier than the last one. However, it didn't last too long. That was the one thing that did bother me about this episode, was how did the Yurei get into the baby? Like, how did it pass itself from the priest into the baby? I'm a little unclear as to how that happened. Did that happen when they were escaping the house? Is that what happened? And what about Luz's cousin or friend, whoever that guy was, the guy who stayed back to bravely fight off the possessed priest? I mean, did Yurei end up killing him or just wounding him? And then they also didn't elaborate exactly what happened with Terminal Island. It looks like it had been completely demolished and flattened, like there was nothing left, and it just said U.S. government property only. Or is that supposed to be where they were conducting the nuclear tests for the bombs they were going to drop on Japan? Because that guy name dropped Little Boy, which was the code name for one of the two nuclear bombs that we ended up dropping on Japan to end the war with Japan in 1945. And this episode played around with a big time jump. There were 6 months between the opening scene and the rest of the episode. So the war is coming to an end, and hopefully their confrontation with the Yurei will end one way or another in next week's episode. But I also loved how Chester was really looking out for Luz and his son. He was willing to sacrifice his own life to give Yurei what she wanted in exchange for his wife, for Luz and his son's safety, which I think might have even impressed Henry, even if he didn't show it. But man, talk about holding a grudge. I mean, it's hard to blame the guy too. I mean, he must have been just heartbroken and devastated when Chester used such ugly, hateful sentiments against him and his wife for withholding the truth from him all these years. I mean, yeah, I get it. I'd be upset too, but move on and forgive and forget, right? Or maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not in the situation. I don't know how I would feel. But a great episode, pretty creepy. Yurei scary as ever. I applaud Chester's mother's efforts to try to distract Yurei in order for the men to return and try to get her to let go of the baby. But unfortunately, Yurei only transferred herself from Abuela into Luz, and now Luz is acting all creepy and possessed, walking away with the infant. So I'm sure it's going to be one heck of a season finale that next week. This episode was a good setup for that, just a solid episode overall. What did you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions on it. Please feel free to leave your feedback and comments down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. The Terror Infamy season finale airs next week on AMC. You're not going to want to miss it. And be sure to check back to this channel for that review as well. Have a wonderful rest of your night, everyone. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.